community and the fishing community and the hot rod community. I think you're in the aviation community. I think you have pretty much covered all the gamuts, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny because we started with one and there was so much crossover. But when you think about it, and I love to, there's so much in American culture that's so interesting. So we did the fishing, the boating, the music is a big thing of ours too. We've done a lot of music festivals. And what's cool is there's so much crossover. Like at the Rockabilly Festival, they have amazing hot rods and vintage cars.
Oh, yeah.
And the Blues Festival, the same thing. So there's a lot to celebrate in California culture as well as American culture, and that's what we try to do. And we don't have any limits anymore. We do a lot of novelty and stuff that's into different subcultures that we can find that are interesting to us.
So, what kept you from going overseas? Because you know for a fact, China, Bangladesh, and all these people that make all these hats and shirts and what have you, or a heck of a lot, they can do it for a lot less than probably what you can do it for. What prompted you to stay in the USA?
Well, first of all, this is what I knew how to do. Number one was because I had been around it like I'd say in the early 90s, everybody was doing it that I knew was here, and all the junk came from overseas.
Right.
And the brands, and it started to migrate over there. It was a lot of it had to do with control, and the one thing that people don't understand is that there's a lot of advantages to being USA made. The control, for one, to see the fabric come in, to see the samples. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of good sample makers over there in overseas that will send you really good product, but then when the container comes over, you're ruined, and you will take a huge hit on that. But mine was always about control. I love fabric. I love seeing it. I love looking at it and doing cuts and seeing it, as well as production. I had been on the production floor probably 3 times a week since I was in my early 20s, and I liked the fact that I had control. The other thing that you can make a lot more money is for speed, whereas we were being able to do a good part of our business was that mid-tier doing, they want big jobs overseas. They want Walmart, they want 2,000, they want 4,000.
Right.
They don't want the restaurant with 200 employees, or they want the school with, 300 people going to Hawaii, or the corporation. And also that would take 6 to 8 months where we could turn stuff in 2 to 3 weeks. So we could turn our money quicker. We could do a lot more custom stuff. And the end result was us being able to, we were able to do stuff that was more custom, and it resonated more because we were on the pulse. We weren't doing it 6 months after the fact. We were doing it when it was happening.
Right. And the quality aspect, I think, is what really made you stand out. And that's like when you take a hot rod shirt, I don't care if it's Hawaiian, boat, fishing, or what, when you put a pocket on the shirt, you can just slap a chunk of the material that you're making that shirt out of, right? You don't do that. You make sure that pocket, if there's a car or a boat or a fish on the outer edges of that place where you put the pocket, you make sure that that pocket matches up. And I think that really stands out. I know you, that's high, I'm sure that's high on your list of what you have to see. And you wouldn't think the general public would care, but they do.
Well, I think they do, and we're following in the tradition of the really good Aloha shirts from Hawaii, and that's what they used to do. Do you know how pockets matched?
No, I'm curious.
Okay. Well, first of all, fabric is usually is put into repeats. So they're typically 6 inches, 12 inches, and 24-inch repeats. So what's really cool about when you get into the art of Hawaiian shirts is the way that the artist would draw it, and the bottom would fade into the top, and that's where the repeat is.
But you still have to go look to make sure you find that piece that's going to match that shirt.
Well, you have to measure it.
Yeah.
And most of our repeats, because we like the big scale prints, the smaller scale prints to me look a lot more. They look a lot more generic, and they don't have as much sophistication as I like. I like to, when we do a print, we like it to be a story or a big scene.
Right.
And what's cool about that is, so when you see it and they cut it exactly 24 inches, And then that's the piece. Now that's the easy part, measuring, right? Well, not so easy, but it's easier.
Measure twice, cut once.
Right. And what's really strange is there's sometimes when there's odd repeats that it screws everything up, and then we have to recut pockets.
Yeah.
But then you have to have someone who's skilled, and there's only a couple people in our factory who can even do it the way that we want to be done, because we're not just doing flowers, we're doing a lot of wordings, we're doing cars. You don't want the front end of the car to be look like it got smashed in an accident.
Right.
So you have to be really tight on that. But the people who work have a lot of pride in what they do, and it seems like I never have that many issues with the pockets, even on the small words.
Well, I'm looking at your shirt you're wearing right now, and there's a Hemi Cuda sitting on your shirt, and I cannot barely see the seam to where the car on the shirt and the car on the pocket, they match literally perfectly.
Right, you can't even see. You can see.
No, that's what I'm saying. You can barely see that line, and I got good eyes. Yeah, he's even looking at himself now.
No, that is pretty good.
Yeah, you should pat yourself on the back. So for employees, how do you find the type of employees that you're looking for that meet your standards?
Well, it's not easy.
Because it's a dying breed, isn't it?
It is, and that's the hard part. The bottom line is that probably more than 90% of the production has gone offshore. What was a once proud apparel industry in California and LA was really good for fashion, and then Orange County is the biggest for surf and action sports, skating, and all that stuff. So that's where I'm from. For some reason, I connect with people who still love apparel production, and the people who are in it. This is what's good about what I do, is that the people who still want to do it have a lot of pride in their workmanship. So they don't have to push them to do a good job, and they actually want to do it because even though they get, if they're really good, they can get paid pretty well.
Sure.
It's still something that it's a lot of work to do production sewing. And so right now we just take it 1 year at a time, because things obviously in California it's harder and harder to do. To have a business doing apparel with all the regulations and
Or
whatnot.
anything as far as that goes. I mean, let me tell you, it's the goofiest state in the union that it's like they don't really want you to succeed. Well, are there any schools? Let's say somebody's listening and the kid, the boy or girl is at home and he loves to sew. I mean, are there any schools that you can go to learn this trade, or is it basically you hire an entry-level employee and then train them?
No, it's the school of
School of experience.
YouTube. No,
YouTube.
There would be in LA. There's FIDM, and they have several other trade schools. It's not there's no reason to. There's enough sewers that have been laid off that I think there would there's a pretty good pool to choose from. Last year or the year before, it's really sad. The biggest manufacturer, and I was American Apparel, and they laid off whatever. They had 10,000 employees.
Oh.
They did the T-shirts there. So there's a pool of them. You have to really want to do it. Production sewing's a lot different than home sewing. You got to be fast and precise. But the people who do it are good, and we are very proud and to have that kind of quality. I haven't had that issue just because I've always connected with.
Knock on wood.
Well, it will happen, but it's in the while I lost plenty of people I knew in the business to just not being able to survive, and but I always seem to connect with the people who want to stay in business, and we are direct to public, so they're getting them for about the same price or less than they're going to get some of the overseas brands.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think a lot better quality in a lot of cases.
It's not a lot better. It is better quality. I can tell you, I have over 200 shirts. They're not all yours, okay? Because I've only known you. I'm working on it, brother. I'm working on it. But I've only known you for a short time. I've known of you, but just like you knew of me, but you didn't know me. But I could always spot your shirts, because, by the way, I'm a shirt cop. If I see you at a car show and you got that shirt tucked in, you're in deep poop, because I'm going to come over to you and I'm going to tell you I'm a cop to untuck that shirt. Because are those shirts designed to be tucked in? Tell the truth. No.
No.
Not at all. And in fact, I have to tell you, every once in a while, like if I go to the Good Guys or I go to the LA shows, people will see me coming and all of a sudden they'll pull their shirts out, and I can always tell because the whole bottom of the shirt is all wrinkled, so I know that they know who I was, and I'm gonna bust them.
It was a super funny story because my dad is a huge part. When he came out of retirement, and just was added so much life and soul and spirit to this brand, and he used to do the trade shows, and I think he knew of you before me because he was at the I had always heard about you, but he said. And I asked him last week. I go, yeah, I remember Dave Stelly. He goes, do I remember him? He came in the booth when I was getting set up with it, and I had didn't put my show shirt on, and I had a T-shirt. He says, hey, you have to wear a Hawaiian shirt in this booth. I'm gonna write you a ticket.
I told you I'm the shirt cop, man. Hey, let's take a quick break. We're coming back. We got a whole lot more right here with High Seas Trading Company. Go to highseastrading.com. Oh, highseastradingco.com. highseastradingco.com. Don't go to the website yet. Wait till we get done with the show because that website is so nice. You'll be able to shop for hours and hours and hours. Hey, this is FM 96.1, AM 1170. The Answer. Normally when I have a guest in, Sophie, you would be the one saying the answer.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to do that, I'll point at you, and then you just say the answer.
Awesome. Okay.
So you can pull that microphone around and get it a little bit closer to your mouth, like this. Just take this one, I like that. Yeah. Station.
Sophie, how you like it?
Good. I'm trying to pause the live video.
Yeah, good luck with that.
I think I'll just end it real quick.